In our election roundtable series, we look into the first week of the campaign period for candidates seeking national posts. 5 persons are in the running for president. CNN Philippines is following each candidate. In alphabetical order, United Nationalist Alliance standard-bearer Jejomar Binay began his campaign in Welfareville Subdivision in Mandaluyong, followed by sorties in Laguna, Cavite City, and in his home province of Batangas. Rodrigo Duterte of PDP Laban initially went to Tondo, Manila, then to Tuguegarao, Cagayan. His speaking engagement in Pasig City was canceled because of migraine. For independent candidate Grace Poe, her launch pad was Plaza Miranda in Quiapo, Manila. Next stop was Cebu before going to Batac, Ilocos Norte, then Pangasinan, one of the provinces with a big voting population. Liberal Party bet Mar Roxas began his sortie in his hometown of Roxas City in Capiz, followed by 2 events in Pasay City. He also visits Naga in Camarines Sur, the hometown of his running mate Leni Robredo. Finally, Miriam Defensor Santiago of People's Reform Party joined her running mate Bongbong Marcos in their political rally in Ilocos Norte. We invited representatives of candidates and their political parties to better explain their platform of government. We have in the studio today UNA Treasurer Gary Teves, Team Duterte Media Group Head Peter Lavinia, Post Spokesperson Valenzuela Mayor Rex Gatchalian, and Koalisyon ng Daang Matuwid Spokesperson Akbayan Party List Representative Barry Gutierrez. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you so much for coming over. So let's start first with the platform of your candidates. Like, what issues determine your choices of campaign venue? How do you choose where to go?
Well, for Senator Poe, she started off in Plaza Miranda. It not only mirrors the historic significance of Plaza Miranda, but also of her character. She's a devotee of ng Nazareno, and she's a very prayerful and God-fearing person. So it was a choice for her personally to start her campaign there. Because every time she's faced with challenges, or if she's there to thank for the goodness of her life, she always goes to Quiapo Church and prays. Just like every other Filipino. We're a prayerful nation, and that's why she chose Quiapo Church.
Mar Roxas, of course, chose his hometown.
Yeah, in Roxas City. And that has several symbolisms. The first being that that's where he started his career in public service. When his brother, Dingoy Roxas, passed away, and he ran for the first time in the special election. That's the district that he actually represented in Congress. The other significance of Roxas City as a choice was, well, it's in the province of Capiz. And a lot of people were asking us, why Capiz? It's not one of the major vote-rich provinces. But that's precisely the point. We wanted to emphasize that under a Roxas administration, everybody will get their fair share in government. It's not just the big cities. It's not just the places where you have a lot of people. But it's even the provinces
in line with the inclusive growth campaign. It's Tondo for Duterte.
Well, many people from the Visayas and Mindanao seeking greener pastures, land in the Port of Manila, and end up living in Tondo. Unfortunately, their crusade for a new life ends in Tondo. So that is where Team Duterte and Cayetano started our campaign for a new life for our countrymen.
And it's Mandaluyong City.
Well, similar to other places, there are a number of poor people in Mandaluyong, and it must have been also upon the initiative of Mayor Bernard, and the BP is comfortable interacting with our poor people.
Now, when I looked at your platforms, there are similarities. I mean, all your candidates are saying that they want to promote good governance, curb violence, and alleviate poverty. Now, can you tell us, how do you differentiate your candidate from the other candidates by giving us the top 3 priorities of your candidate? Okay, now let's start with Pete Lavinia.
Well, we have our top 3 would be a 24/7 fight against crime and corruption.
24/7 fight, okay.
Which is the core of Mayor Duterte's and Senator Cayetano's campaign.
Okay, that's one.
Second is we promote the development of our economy by tying this up with our advocacy on federalism, which is regional development.
All right.
And the last is we should have equality before the law and give equal opportunities for everyone.
Equal opportunities.
Apparently, the government now has neglected many areas, many sectors, so we want to address these things.
How about Mar Rojas, Congressman Gutierrez?
I think he already put it very succinctly in his speech during
He just said
the
to
kickoff.
continue the ang matuwid.
Well, yes, but he also identified the three freedoms that
Alright.
that lie at the heart of the Rojas Robredo platform. The first is freedom from hunger, and that's essentially concerned with job generation, particularly in the agricultural sector. So this is where he talks about expanding foreign investments in manufacturing. This is where he talks about a bukid revolution, where there will be bigger government investments in infrastructure for the agricultural sector. The second will be freedom from fear, and this is where he talks about safety nets in cases of disease or health issues. So this is where universal health care comes in.
Okay.
It's also where peace and order issues come in. Improved policing through an expansion of the Lambat Sibat program, which he actually pioneered when he was in DILG. The last is freedom to dream, o yung kalayaang mangarap. And this goes more towards improving the capacity of individual citizens, individual families, to actually aspire for their dream. So this is where expansion of the K-12 program will come in. This is where an expanded CCT program will come in to ensure that we don't just get poor families to send their children up to high school, but to give them the opportunities to actually acquire a college degree.
Now, Senator Grace Poe did identify some programs of the present administration that she'd want to continue, and there are also those that she wanted to focus on.
Well, she's running under the platform of Gobyernong May Puso, making sure that government has compassion and government has heart.
Okay.
Yes, we do need know-how, but we also need a government that empathizes with its people, that sympathizes and feels what the people are feeling. Sometimes people think that their government is too far from them. They don't understand who I am anymore. It's bringing back government to the people.
Well, the Vice President, Judge Omar Binay, has said that he will replicate Makati.
Higher economic growth.
Higher economic
perhaps
growth.
attain 7 to even 8% by investing more in infrastructure and ensuring that action is taking place much quicker than what we have seen so far. We've first got to generate more resources, but we can also generate resources externally by inviting foreign investors and making sure that the environment is really conducive to foreign investment. He will also emphasize on inclusive growth, gauging from his or emanating from his experience in Makati. So he will provide more emphasis on health and education, expand this to a larger extent all over the country.
With the help of our correspondents who cover the campaign sorties, we chose some of the best sound bites of candidates. Let's begin with Mar Rojas.
This is a fight worth fighting. Hindi tayo magpapatalo sa mga abusado, sa mga manloloko, at higit sa lahat, hindi tayo magpapatalo sa mga magnanakaw.
Please expound on that, Congressman Gutierrez.
That's really the principle that underlies the entire platform. Because anybody can talk about what they will do, but at the end of the day, who can you really trust to implement what they will do? And over the past 5.5 years, that's what we think has been the biggest achievement of the Aquino administration. It has restored trust in the government. Mga ordinaryong mamamayan, titingnan yung kanyang presidente, alam nila hindi nagnanakaw. Alam nila hindi involved sa mga anomalya. So that's really I think the thing that we want to emphasize in this election. That more than anything else, we all have our programs, we all have our plans, but it is a question ultimately of the integrity of the candidate, trusting the candidate that when he or she assumes office, he will not betray the trust of the people.
Okay, this time, let's listen to, we have a soundbite from Judge Omar Binay. Let's hear this.
Aalisin ko ang income tax ng mga kababayan natin na kumikita buwan-buwan ng 30,000 piso at pababa. Bilyon-bilyon ang sasayang na pera dahil sa hindi wastong paggastos ng mga departamento ng pamahalaan.
Secretary Teves.
That proposal already is in Congress and also was initiated by the Tax Management Association of the Philippines. It really is expanding on DP Binay's policy or priority to provide more income to the disadvantaged and to the marginalized sectors, so they can have the resources to buy the essential goods and services.
So it will be lowered to the income tax rate?
No,
from...
there are two aspects. One
Okay.
is both personal and income tax,
All right.
corporate income tax are going to be lowered.
Okay.
In the case of the corporate income tax, to the level that is already available among ASEAN peers. And in the case of the personal income tax, it will also be lowered because we have a high tax rate now, about 32%. And then there's a specific proposal to allow those earning not more than 30,000 to be fully tax exempt. No? So those
Now it's 10,000 per month, and this time he's
30,000 per
proposing
month and
30,000 per month
360,000
per year. Okay.
That is being
That's the
pursued by
proposal.
Congress, as initiated, I think, by the tax. So that will also be part of his agenda, maybe convene LEDAC and ask if this particular bill can be given priority. No. But there is always this extension of his priority on education, social services, agriculture especially, because many of our people are still in the agricultural sector.
Okay.
And this is his response to job opportunities. And he'd like to see a greater allocation for agriculture in the budget.
This time, let's listen to independent candidate Grace Poe.
Ipaglaban natin na ang bawat isa ay may pagkain, may hanap buhay, at may edukasyon. Ako si Grace Poe. At sa gobyernong may puso, kayo na ang aking pamilya.
She's running on a platform of putting back empathy or heart in governance, making it more inclusive, bringing back government closer to the people. Yung sinabi nga niya yung pagkain, that's a in-school feeding program that she's talking about.
Yes.
Making sure that every child that goes into a public school has enough to eat so that the learning curve is much better. She also talked about trabaho. That goes back to making our people more productive. 500,000 500 hectares of our farmlands are still unirrigated, making sure our farmers are productive. Working on productivity of our people who take the MRT or go through EDSA so that they get to their jobs faster and making sure that they're more productive in the workplace. Yan yung trabaho na aspect na binabanggit niya. And of course, she said, kayo ang pamilya ko, that's putting back heart into governance. True, kailangan ng track record, true, kailangan ng galing, but she's now pairing it up with puso or heart in governance.
Okay. This time, let's look at PDP Laban's bet, Rodrigo Duterte. Let's see what he has to say.
I can talk about corruption. I can talk about drugs. I can talk about criminals. Pero itong isa sa dalawa na sabi ko, pwede talaga kami. They can talk about maybe drugs, criminality, but he cannot talk about corruption.
Well, very clear, yung political will of the mayor to implement the laws. Kaya nga, matapang na solusyon, no? At mabilis na aksyon.
No heart?
Of course,
With
matapang
heart.
at malasakit. Sa Davao, love na love si Mayor ng mga tao, no? Dahil sa compassionate nature ni Mayor Duterte. Pero yung kanyang pananalita, talagang gusto niyang i-implement ang laws. Kaya yung kanyang sinasabi na fight against crime, against drugs, against corruption, meron talagang pinagmulan yon na Exhibit A ang Davao.
Okay. So, we have limited time, but we'd like to hear 3 final words from you today. We will start with that. Let's start with Secretary Teves.
3 final words.
3 final words.
Jobs,
Jobs.
income, and food for our people.
Jobs, income, and food for our people.
Well, education, agriculture, and health. Yun ang 3 priorities ni Mayor din.
Education, agriculture, and health. All right.
Ako pwedeng 5.
Pwedeng 5
Gobyernong may puso, walang maiiwanan.
Gobyernong may puso, walang maiiwanan. Okay. Okay. Yun na yun.
Yeah, fine.
Okay. Gobyernong may puso, walang maiiwanan. All right. How about Mar Rojas?
daang matuwid, ipagpatuloy. Di ba?
Daang matuwid ipagpatuloy. Okay, so it's still early in the campaign period, and I'm pretty sure I'll be seeing more of you in the coming weeks.
Definitely.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining us this today here on CNN Philippines.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you very
Maraming
much.
salamat.
Daghang salamat. Gary Teves, Peter Lavinia, Mayor Rex Gatchalian, and Congressman Barry Gutierrez, thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming to this election roundtable.